Through with the real flow, signing out. ES News, Ande Emilio, and why.
Alright, y'all, so here we are again. As you can see by the hat, this is going to be the topic of discussion. Pound for pound. Now, I'm not even going to get to the tabs I have open on my phone just yet, but I really want to discuss with you guys pound for pound. Now, let's do a short, quick history lesson on the term pound for pound, where it even comes from. See, pound for pound, initially, really, just as a term, is literally what it entails. Pound for pound. It's a way of scaling things that aren't the same size proportionately. For instance, an ant can lift whatever 10 times its weight or something. So pound for pound, an ant is more powerful than a human being. You see, that's the way the idea is supposed to work. In boxing particularly, you know, around Sugar Ray Robinson's era, since they wanted to compare him to the great heavyweights, etc. The heavyweights at that time got a lot of shine. That's when pound for pound was made, and it existed for that sole purpose, to compare skills proportionately. End of story. Now, pound for pound is about your resume, your accolades, etc., etc. How can a guy be pound for pound if he only has 12 fights, blah, blah, blah? Realistically, somebody should be pound for pound just off their skill set and what they can do. That's what pound for pound means. See, pound for pound is meant to say Mikey Garcia is pound for pound better than Anthony Joshua because of his skill set. If they were the same size, if you blew up Mikey Garcia or if you shrunk down Anthony Joshua, Mikey Garcia would beat him. That's what the list is for. All of a sudden it became this popularity contest, you know, and what have you done for me recently? I mean, you guys can remember as far back as Roman Gonzalez was #1 pound for pound on almost every boxing list. He loses one fight. Not only does he just get complete, not only is he no longer #1, granted, he lost a fight to Sorung Vasai, which I've ranted on before. Wouldn't logic dictate that Sorung Vasai would now become #1 pound for pound? If you beat the guy who's #1 pound for pound, shouldn't you then take on, you know, like, that's like killing the king. Anyways, not only that, not only did Sorung Vasai not become pound for pound #1, Roman Gonzalez was obliterated from the list. He's just not even on there anymore. And then you just really have, you know, and there's an old like adage that heavyweights don't even belong on the pound for pound list because they are literally the biggest. There is nothing left to the imagination. They can beat everyone else. Basically, essentially, the guy who's the best at heavyweight, let's just say Deontay Wilder, can beat everybody else below him. He's the biggest man that there is. That's the way that logic works. So usually, for a purist like myself, you wouldn't find a heavyweight unless he was of exceptional skill, a la Muhammad Ali, etc. You know, somebody like Muhammad Ali who had the same skills as Ray Robinson, that you put them on a pound for pound list. Because come on, if you put any of the heavyweights skill for skill, these guys can't match up with Mikey Garcia, Lomachenko, Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. No, they're big. They have tremendous power. They're exciting to watch, etc., etc., etc. But skill-wise, come on, these guys are sloppy. They're running out of air. You could go on for days. They're not on the pound for pound list. We have to bring back pound for pound to what it was. Not a resume, accolades, what belts you've got. And this other thing, could he go up in weight classes? That's not what pound for pound ever meant. It's not about Canelo being champ at 160 and then, oh, if he's pound for pound, he has to jump to 160. That's not what pound for pound means. It never meant that. Your size, that's what's left to the imagination. Now it's for you to compare him to other guys in skill sets, not him literally doing it. Now there are guys who literally do it. You got, you know, like Mikey Garcia. He's what, freaking 4-weight world champion, I believe. What, 126, 130, 135, 140. Yep, 4-weight world champion. On his way to possibly becoming 5th. You know, like guys like you know, you got Oscar De La Hoya did it, Mayweather did it. Obviously, you got Manny Pacquiao did something that nobody will ever do again. Yeah, man, that doesn't dictate your pound for pound ship. Floyd Mayweather was pound for pound #1 unanimously for years because of his skill set. Not that nobody could literally beat him. If you put him in there with somebody who was big enough, they would beat him. If he jumped up that many weight classes, no. It's about if you put them down, if you shrunk or blew them up, and you match them together, he is the better fighter. That's what pound for pound means and always has meant. So I just want to go down ESPN's, you know, BoxRec has them. Pretty much everyone has their own pound for pound. This is one of the more notable ones that's been going around since the Triple G Canelo rematch. So let's check this out. #1, Vasily Lomachenko. You know what? I'm not mad at that. And I'm not really a big Lomachenko stan. A lot of people are. But if you tell me Lomachenko is your #1 pound for pound, I mean, you can argue it. Personally, my pound for pound is Mikey Garcia. I just believe he has all the fundamentals, skills, technique, power, like everything that I like in a fight. And I think he would beat Lomachenko, but that's besides the point. He's my #1 pound for pound. But to me, they're interchangeable. 1, 2. Like 1, 2, and 3, because Terrence Crawford is right there also. #2, they have Terrence Crawford. Granted, another good one. Honestly, skill-wise, I think Terrence Crawford has more skills than Lomachenko also. But, hey, my opinion. Here's where the list starts getting crazy. Canelo Alvarez. He shouldn't be #3 or even top 5. I'm not even sure if he's top 10 pound for pound. Now, don't get me wrong. Canelo has a lot of skills. In fact, there aren't many boxers in the game who have as many skills as Canelo. Canelo has great defensive skills. You saw him doing all that to Triple G. He made him miss like 10 punches in a row. Great skills. No doubt about it. But if we're basing something off skills, I mean, there's a lot of guys who could do that. There's a lot of guys who are less known who aren't on this list. You got Demetrius Andrade. He could do a lot of those things. Obviously, type Billy Joe Saunders, another person, incredibly skilled. Let's go down this list because these guys aren't going to be on this list. Gennady Golovkin. Very skilled, underrated skills. His skills are more of the Mikey Garcia, very fundamental, but still, you know, lacks in certain areas, but definitely skilled. His defense isn't the stylistic, flashy head movement defense that Canelo has, but he did make Canelo miss a lot of shots as well. Errol Spence, another guy who's skilled, fundamentally skilled. Not a lot with all the pretty tricks, but you know, his hands are always up. He's hard to get to. He, you know, uses that jab. He hits the body. A lot of things that people like. Very skilled. See, I don't see how Mikey Garcia could be #6 on this pound for pound list right here. Yeah, that like how is Mikey Garcia under Triple G? Yeah, I mean, or under Canelo Alvarez? Doesn't make sense to me. Naoya Inoue, another guy. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right because he's one of my favorite fighters, Japanese fighter, smaller weight class. This guy has tremendous skills. Just his nickname is the Monster. He kills you, eats you to the body. Sarung Vasai, he's on the list, but how is he this low on the list after not only once but twice beating Roman Gonzalez? Long story short, I can go down this list for a day. Look at Usyk. Alexander Usyk is all the way at #9 when. And they got Anthony Joshua under him. How is Anthony Joshua on the list? No disrespect. I love Anthony Joshua. Like, I watch every single fight. There's nothing. But come on, skills. The pound for pound list is about skills and skills only. You're going to tell me Anthony Joshua is a more skilled boxer than Demetrius Andrade? Not happening. No way. Then Danny Jacobs? No, it's not happening. No way. You know, then Guillermo Rigondeaux, even though, you know, whatever happened with him and Lomachenko? No way. You know, there are guys who have skills. Skills are what puts you on the pound for pound list because you're comparing them proportionately to other fighters. That's why today's pound for pound list is bullshit and dead, honestly. Now it's about Who's unified the division? Who's this? Who's that? You know, where's man, there's a lot of guys who could be on this list, honestly. And you know what, man, I hate to say it. I mean, you know, it is what it is. There's a lot of bias. A lot of these fighters fight on ESPN. You know, number one and number two most notably have contracts with ESPN, but hey, that's another story. We'll get into that another time. But yeah, the pound for pound list is broken, and it needs to be brought back to where it used to be back in Ray Robinson's era, where fighters were compared respectively to their skill sets. Kid hyphen, Blue L Boxing, I'm out.